Hey everybody, this is Lifting the Veil with Terri and
Rhonda.
hello. We have a special guest today, Nancy Shapiro. She's a
Hello.
wife, mom, and teacher who stepped deeper into her spiritual path after the age of 50. Nancy, I can't believe you're older than 50. She's
No,
Definitely.
there's no way.
she's the founder of Mystic Energy. With Nancy, she offers Akashic record readings, mediumship, and Reiki to help people gain clarity and connect with spirit. And she's going to be at our event October 8th.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I know. So we're excited to have you. Nancy, we've been working with you, having you at our events for a while, for about three something years or
At
so.
least, yeah,
Yeah,
It's been,
and I remember having a session with you, and I was just blown away. So I'm happy to have you today.
thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah.
Honest to goodness, Nancy, I thought you were like 35. I'm like, oh my,
Ah,
why do we
it's
have
just
all
on the
these babies?
computer.
You're still a
Yeah,
baby to me and Terry, but still, I mean, I thought you were a baby, but you're not.
not really. No, I'm in my 50s. I got my kids. I still feel like I'm the age that my kids are now, and that's really not good.
Oh,
I feel like I'm in my 20s still, and they're like, no,
uh,
you're definitely not our age.
Keep doing
Um,
what you're doing. You're doing good. There,
yeah.
ours
Oh,
up again.
thanks.
no, you're okay. So Nancy, tell us how you first discovered the Akashic records. What are the
Yeah.
Akashic? What are the Akashic
Yeah,
records?
what are they first
Where
of
to begin? So many questions. So I'll start with where I first found out about them, and honestly, I couldn't even pronounce them the first time I heard them, and for a while after. Akashic, I don't know what I'm saying. Kashi,
tomato, tomato?
yeah, I didn't know anything about them. I've always been into spiritual things. My grandfather used to read my playing cards when I was a kid, and I loved that. And so I got a deck of playing cards, grabbed my older sister's little books when she went away to college. She still is 10 years older than me. And I just dove in and was going to tarot card readers and palm readers for myself and trying to do it myself. But it was just a hobby. It wasn't anything. And then I went to see Terri too, because my mom passed away when I was a teen. And so I was going to visit mediums and just never thought anything more than a hobby that I went to other people for, and it was fun. And it took till I was 50. The pandemic happened, and I was taking a walk. I was listening to a podcast, and she mentioned the Akashic Records, and she said, you can go in and connect with your guides and your masters and beings of light and get information, and you don't need to talk to anybody about it. Anybody can do it. I was like, are you kidding me? What? Like, how come I didn't know about this years ago? And because I guess it's been around for years,
Mhm.
centuries, thousands of years, our book of life. And so I went home and I tried it. I did what, her name was Ashley Wood. She's married now, so her last name's different, but I did what she said. I read the prayer and opened up the records. And from there, I was off to the races. I just was so interested in it. So basically, what the Akashic Records are is like your book of life, and you go into this spiritual realm to find out, it has the spiritual realm contains all of your thoughts, actions, experiences from this life and past lives, and it's open to anybody to explore. You just say the prayer and have a lot of patience, practice, and persistence in continuing to open them. But yeah, that's what it is, and it's
So,
deeper than
so the
that.
book,
But that's the quick answer.
so the book of life. Now, I studied with about the archangels and stuff, and the book of life, from what I've learned, is actually everything you've ever thought, done, or
Hmm.
spoken, written down by an archangel. And is that what you believe as well?
I do, yeah. I mean, at least that's what I've heard. Now, I don't get it where I can go to a specific date and I look it up. Some people do, and everybody goes in and gets information differently, but I believe it's all there. And then that's why the information that you get for it or the guidance that you get for it just seems so, I don't know, impactful and, just
So
what you
what would the
need.
guidance be like? I mean, like, why would I want to look into the Akashic records?
So there's so many reasons, and just life clarity, day-to-day life clarity. Some people think it's reserved for special times, once a year, special occasions, and very revered place that you don't go into daily. But I open the records every day and I get, career guidance, business guidance, relationships, patterns, going into a past life and finding out how it's influencing this life. Just curiosity and also really like help when you need it. Just another perspective on something in your life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you've probably heard of the Tree of Life, right?
Hmm.
What's the difference between the Tree of Life and the Book of Life? Is the Tree of Life more ancestral stuff?
I don't know.
You
Well,
know?
I haven't really thought too deeply about that, but yeah, I think just from my perspective with this, it's just going deeper into ourselves now, more personal, maybe. I don't know. That's a great question. I haven't.
Hmm. It
Um,
just came to me, so I'm like, oh, wait a
yeah,
minute. Tree of Life, Book of Life. Because I've been
I
listening.
do.
I've
I
been
believe
listening to
life is more ancestral.
yeah.
Yeah.
what?
I
What do
think
you
the tree of life, if I remember correctly, is more ancestral than the book of life is basically based
more
on
personal?
what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense. All right. So was there a moment where you gave someone a really interesting message? I remember I had my session with you was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not a big person to go under. I'm just not really good at that. I mean, I meditate quite often, but to go completely out and see things is not that easy for me. But when I sat with you, I saw 3 past lives that hit me hard, and I was like, "Oh, this makes perfect sense." So for me, it was pretty outstanding. I just want you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. The past lives part is always surprising. Because people will say, that makes so much sense. And you just see their face change. And I think of different, there's so many different past lives. People love the past lives. They're like,
I
I
know.
know they grab it. When you say past lives, they like come over to your
I
table.
know.
They're like, tell me more about myself. But the interesting thing is it's how it helps you in this life. So this woman was coming to me and she was looking for like next steps in her life, career wise, and she was just burnt out with what she was doing. I didn't know her. I don't like to know anything about anybody before I see them.
Hmm.
And they came through and were showing her like helping different soldiers and when they were sick at the end of their life and as a nurse I suppose and like Florence Nightingale there she was coming in um, and I said, it seems as though they're asking you to step into being maybe like an end of life doula or some sort of healthcare nurse that helps people at that stage of their life. And she's like, what, I honestly hadn't thought about that, but she was a nurse. She's like, I am a nurse, but I'm a pediatric nurse or something. And so she hadn't thought of doing that in her life. So it was very uplifting, positive. Well, not that the career path that she would take, but that she found something that felt fulfilling in that moment. She was like, that really resonates with me. I hadn't thought of that perspective of doing that before. So things like that, and then sometimes the guides will come through with what you need to hear at that moment. Maybe a few months ago, I opened up the records at this gallery reading, and this song immediately came through from the 70s. And I heard it on forever. Something like "Help Me, Rhonda," like something bizarre, and I didn't, but it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was this song, and I said, I don't know. I'm getting this name, and it turned out. It was the name of her daughter who was missing at the time, and her guides then came through. That was the introduction that they gave, like to let her know they were speaking directly to her. It was an unusual name. It wasn't like Kathy, it was something different. And they, right at that moment, let her know that they were around her and that she was going to be okay. And come to find out a couple weeks later, like she was back home and she was all right. So it can be really reassuring, comforting, curiosity. It's got it all in there for different reasons that you go in. So those were like standout surprising moments, but yeah, every time people don't always tell me why they're crying or what's going on. It's not really my business, but it's just interesting to see that the guides seem to know exactly what to say.
So it sounds like you really trust what you get.
It's taken some time, not always. And it's harder when it's directed, when I'm asking for myself. It's a little bit easier when you're just, seeing what lands with somebody
So,
because you're
but
getting
if
it.
you're giving other people really good information and it resonates with them, then it's easier for you to believe what you get for yourself, right?
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Well, what I've found is just about every facet of the spiritual work has to do with healing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's giving a psychic message, a mediumship message, the Akashic Records, past life regression, all that stuff
Yeah.
is very healing. I mean, Terry and I do spiritual healings together as well, and that's why we're doing what we're even paranormal investigating. When I
Oh, yeah.
it's healing, it's helping people. So
Yeah, it's fascinating. And the more you learn, the more you want to learn, the more you find out, like it just snowballs and there's so much that I didn't know about before. You just want to learn it all because
it's linked.
it's so helpful. I wish I didn't have such a late start, like, and I'm where I am supposed to be
Uh,
right now, but you think,
yeah,
gosh, if I had anyway, it's
I think
just
about that too.
beautiful.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish I had another 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from working with the Akashic Records?
Like I think you said, like trusting that there's a team around you, they're around you and they're there to support you and help you and just they'll usually catch you if you're, or point you in the right direction. Yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing is just the trust. Um,
So this has sort of opened up your mediumship abilities too, right?
yeah, totally. I didn't know I could do that. I thought you had to know since like being a kid, but one time I'm in this, we call it Akashic Gang. We meet every couple weeks to practice with each other because
Ah,
everybody reads the records different and one of us will say a question and then everybody will answer it. It's really neat when everybody gets the same one, same response or the same past life that happened like once or twice, which is really neat. But my friend was like, you know what, Nancy, you sound like my grandma. The way you're talking, the advice you're giving, the way she said, like it's like you must be and I was like, well, I can't do that. But I had no idea that spirit was also loved ones coming through. I just wasn't recognizing that. So yeah, that came out as
that's
I
cool.
developed.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest misconception people have, you think, about the Akashic Records? Because it is such a weird name. I think people are they're kind of turned off just by the name. Do you know what I mean?
Right? I
Because it's
know.
like, what Akashic Records? What the heck is that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's kind of a weird name, like it's a Hindu or something.
Right. Right.
It's not,
Right.
yeah. So, what do you think?
Um, I think that it's some mystical, weird kind of thing that you've got to like be psychic or be, mystical and whatever to be able to go in it and use it and do it. And I think people don't realize that it's something that they can learn with practice how to use for themselves. That just takes
So you do
some
this
time.
on a daily basis? You touch in with your own records on a daily basis? Like, what do you ask? Like, what is it that you're asking? I'm curious.
Well, when I first learned, I was taking a class from the Soul Tribe podcast, and they had us going in 15 days, upping it 15 minutes every 15 days. So by the day 45, you're going in for 45 minutes.
Oh,
You're
that's a
running
lot.
out of questions to ask,
Yeah,
and so I was asking all like ridiculous questions, sometimes simple questions, and sometimes so now when I go in, I usually open up my records on the way to school. I'll say a quick prayer, turn on my phone, because I'm a substitute teacher, so I'm going, sometimes my rides are longer than others, and I will turn on my phone and just say, what do I need to know today for my highest good? And then immediately, like there's so much energy I think built up in my car. It feels really good. They'll start to just come through and give me the guidance for that day. Sometimes I'll have a question about something in particular, and and I'll receive guidance. I don't always listen to it. You know, you have free will and I have free will, and I sometimes don't take their advice, and then they give the same advice the next day, and I'm like, oh, that's
Mm,
definitely them. But yeah, I go in asking questions. You know, how can you know? It's best not to ask yes and no questions. So the tendency is to say, "Will I be okay? Will this work out today? How, my class be nice to
right,
me
right.
today?" But sometimes it's, you ask open-ended questions like, "How will this work out for me? This situation work out for me? Or is there something I should know about, my children right now, or something like that?" I can't go into their records, but I can maybe ask for guidance surrounding
So why can't you
something.
go into their records?
Ethics, I believe, and I don't think their guides would let me into the records, or their librarians.
Have you asked?
Have I asked? It's just like
Yeah,
you
because
wouldn't open somebody else's mail. Like
I used to do I used to work with Ann Brewer. She did soul clearings, and
okay,
you go in and you ask permission of the person's higher self to
Yeah.
be able to heal them or clear them or go into their Akashic records,
yeah,
and using a pendulum, and the pendulum answered whether that was a yes or no. So
yeah,
I think you can if you
yes,
ask properly,
yeah,
not just on a whim. Well, I think I'll go check out Eddie's,
You
yeah,
have
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
consult with the universe. Now, I have a question for you.
yeah.
Do you feel that the Akashic records are linked to our karmic debts?
I believe you can go in to find out about that. I don't know. And I believe the records meet you with your own beliefs and all that. Karma, soul contracts, all of that.
Mhm.
You know, possibly. I'm not a. I don't know. Karma, yeah, it's a little. I don't know. It gets into my own beliefs, but yeah, I think you probably could go in and ask questions about that, and there could be things with that. Soul contracts, yes.
Would think
Maybe
so.
maybe that's a good question to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I would think so, since, I mean, if something arises and you know that you're dealing with some sort of karma, maybe you could go into your Akashic records to figure out, what happened in the past, or, what we can do to help with the karmic debt. Maybe, never.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely go in and say, what do I need to resolve this, or is there something I can do to resolve it, or um, you know, for sure.
But I think the Akashic records are amazing. I do. I think it's such an important thing that we can tap into, for help and assistance and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I
Yeah,
tapped into
yeah,
it. I'm just Terry and I both, we dip our fingers into a lot of different parts.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And sometimes it's just, well, I don't know, I don't wanna get into that, but it just you tune in a little bit deeper, because I've had some mediums in my classes, or people are like, I already connect with my guides. How is it different than that? And I think when I just connect with my guides, and versus saying the prayer and having that intention of connecting with my records and getting that information, I
Mhm.
just feel like the information comes through a little bit more deeply and more clear, and I don't know, it's hard to say, like even more expansive. It just feels a little bit different, but it just turns things up a notch a little bit, I think, when I get the information through the records versus just connecting with spirit.
So when you do it, I mean, you meditate and go into the Akashic records or the library or something. So how do you do that?
So it's changed. When I first started, it was a whole process. It was a whole ritual, sitting in the same chair in my bedroom, just locking the doors, so nobody knew what I was doing. Lighting the candle, turning on some music, doing a whole 10-minute, like I still am not a great meditator. Like sitting still and not thinking, like it's very challenging for me. But I was focused on just sitting there and having that ritual, and it did take time, and writing to my questions down first. And and then opening in the records and then writing down whatever came through, or the song or the feeling that I was getting, just putting everything on paper. And that's what I did for a really long time. I didn't think I was going to stick with it, honestly. It was during the pandemic, and so I was kind of adding more paper to my notebook as I went. And now, 5 years later, it's different how I go in. Now, like I said, I turn on my phone, and when I did a lot of exchanges with other people, because like Terry said, you get that validation that you're on track and you know what you're getting. And so I was doing a reading with somebody, a trade, and she said, Nancy, they want you to speak because you're not writing fast enough and they want to come faster. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I speak for a living as a substitute teacher, but it just felt awkward speaking what I like was getting. And so that was a process. But now, yeah, I do more of the talking into my phone and pushing record than I do writing. And when I do the prayer now, it used to be I brought it here, but Linda Howell's book, How to Read the Akashic Records, was like my beginner's book, the audio version of it, and the practice exercises that she had in there. And so I forget what my train of thought. I was like writing a lot and doing it that way. And now, I was using her prayer is what I meant to say. But then now I have an abbreviated version of the prayer that I use. And so I just say it real quick, pull out of my driveway, and then I just let it go and talk. And I try not to be so particular about the rules. Some days I light a candle, some days I don't. Some days I use incense, sometimes I don't. And I think it's just become my own style at this point and the way that I do it. So
at our event on the 18th, what can people expect when they sit down with you?
So on the 18th, I'm going to be doing my mini Akashic Records readings, and I will have a list of questions that people can use, or you can create your own question, and I will just open up your Akashic Records for you. We do like a 30-second meditation, just some quick breaths. You're not hypnotized or anything like that, just getting in the moment. And then you ask your questions, and I will channel and give you imagery or songs, whatever your guides are up for me giving to you, I will give to you. And yeah, so you can ask about relationships, career, or anything like that. And it's a really unique experience just to dip your toes into it and see if it's something you like having somebody else do for you, or if it's something you want to explore for yourself. Yeah.
Well, I know I enjoyed mine. And how many, it doesn't feel like you have to just go to you once, It feels like you could go to you whenever you feel like you need some help with figuring something out. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
not like me, because I have people that come and say, don't come back for 3 months. You don't need to come back for 3 I don't like everybody coming every week or whatever,
yeah, it's
I
different
don't
than
want people to become
mediumship.
dependent upon me. So,
Yeah,
but for
yeah,
you, it's like, oh, let me just check in with check
yeah.
with Nancy, see if she can. But if you teach though too, don't you?
I do teach classes on how to, a
Okay,
very beginner's class. I call it Akashic Records 101. It's the basic
okay.
essentials, what it's all about, and then some practice time, because that's what
Oh
I
yeah.
felt was nice when I did it with the Soul Tribe.
Hmm.
Just getting that validation from them that I was on the right track. But yeah,
And
it's a
do you do
fun
that?
small class.
Is that an online thing?
Yeah, it's a virtual class, and it's usually I keep it to sometimes it's just a couple of us in the class, and sometimes it's, 5 or 6 or 10, but it's always a small group, and that way I can kind of oversee things. You can feel comfortable asking your questions, and that's a really nice experience too, to learn how to do
So
it for yourself.
so after they take that initial class with you, do you then have like practice sessions with those original people?
We do, and there's a Facebook group, a private Facebook group where people connect and they form their own gang to practice with, and do things like that. So, and we'll
Sweet.
be having more pop-ups where they get troubleshooting for issues that they might encounter that I can give them
Yeah.
some feedback on.
So how do people get a hold of you?
I have my website, which is mysticenergywithnancy.com. And I'm on Instagram mostly, me.with.nancy, and I'm also on Facebook at Mystic Energy with Nancy, or I think it's Nancy Shapiro 123. But yeah, any of those ways are great ways to
Okay, cool.
contact
Well, we'll
me.
put it up on our page too,
Thank you. Thanks.
when we share the video. Right, Rhonda?
Yep.
Rhonda's the one who, Rhonda's the tech person here.
Rhonda's not a tech person.
You're better, you're a better tech person than I am, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's
It's a learning believe me, I know.
Well, you know, we've
Not
tried to have
easy.
different producers and stuff, and it just didn't work out. So we ended up doing it like this and just hoping it works out, running it by the seat of our pants kind of
Yeah, I
thing.
totally get that.
you know, it seems to work, and it doesn't require too much effort, so I'm good with that. It's not top of the line by far, but hey, it's all about getting the message out. That's
Right,
what it is. And
right.
that's what Terry and I do. And we love meeting people like you and different other people that we, tap into, and we link to you guys, and that's why we have the events once or twice a year. And
They're so much fun. I'm so glad you all do that because it's also great for the vendors because like we meet other people and we get to, in between we go over and sample the different products that they bring or the services, and it's just really, really just a nice feeling that you all create there with
Oh,
everybody.
thanks. We
yeah,
enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, we like bringing people together.
We do. It's all about the networking, and heck, I mean, some of the readers and stuff, they'll go to each other and get a little.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
fun.
it's a learning experience. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait for it. This one's gonna be bigger than the last one we had. So it's gonna be fun, and it's in Gettysburg. Who doesn't like going to Gettysburg in October yet? So if
I know it's a good time
you
of
don't
year.
see a ghost in Gettysburg in October, you're never gonna see one.
Well, thanks for coming,
All
Nancy.
right, thank you
Have
all.
a good
Yeah.
night and
And
expect this to be up shortly.
And
okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
I'll see you next month.
I'll see
Yeah.
you next month in
Well, I
Gettysburg.
will too.
We'll all see each other. Yeah.
Okay. All right, honey. Have a
All
good night.
right. All right. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
And that is another episode of
Lifting the veil.
Take It with Terry, and
Lifting the veil.
see you all next time.
Bye bye.